Welcome to Beginner's Yoga Part 2. Make sure that you've got your props that you used last time handy, just in case, and we're going to dive straight in and get started. So we're going to begin in extended child's pose. Take the knees out wide as the mat, big toes come to touch, sitting the hips back towards the heels, reaching the arms out in front. Bringing the head and the chest down towards the ground. And straight away finding our equal parts breathing. So if you remember, we make the inhalations same length as the exhalations. Breathing deep, breathe into the belly, into the rib cage, into the chest. Smooth, steady, even breaths. Just notice if you can feel your rib cage expanding, front, back and sides. And then slowly, as you're ready, coming up to tabletop position. So on hands and knees, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Spread the fingertips wide. Start with a neutral spine. And come into cat and cow pose. So inhale, lift the tailbone, allow the belly to drop down. Chest comes forwards. Cow pose. As you exhale, round the tailbone back down. Allow the spine to round and arch. Cat pose. Do this 2 more times with your own breath. Inhaling to come to cow pose. And see if you can draw those shoulder blades towards one another. And exhale, rounding. If you find that you can't do each movement with one breath, don't worry about that too much. And come back to neutral. Keeping the left knee bent, you're going to take the left knee out to the side and start to circle it around. So the movement's coming from the hip. You can probably feel this in the glutes as well. When you've done a few one way, take the circles in the opposite direction. Place that knee back down, other side. Start to circle that right leg. So you're really engaging the core to help keep you stable here. And take the circles in the other direction. Just one more. And set the knee back down. Just tuck the toes under, walk the hands out slightly, sit back towards the heels, lift the knees, lift the hips up high and back, finding downward facing dog. Start to pedal out the feet straight away. Start to warm up through the backs of the legs. And come to stillness, keep a bend in the knees. But bend the knees as deeply as you need to. And looking forward, slowly make your way to the front of the mat. Baby steps all the way up into a forward fold at the front of the mat. So you can take hold of opposite elbows with opposite hands. Have a little sway here. Keep the knees bent. And then let the arms be heavy as you slowly roll up to stand. Stacking one vertebra on top of the other. The head's the last thing to lift. Just circle the shoulders one way and then the other. So standing in mountain pose at the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart, slight bend in the knees. Lifting up through the front body. So again, remember that piece of string coming all the way, lifting those toes through the spine. Nice. Then going to bring the hands to the hips. Then step the left foot back on a diagonal. So you're going to bring both feet flat to the ground. This left foot is going to be going out roughly on a 45-degree angle. Front foot facing forwards. Bend into that front knee and then rotate the hips and the pelvis so it faces forwards. Straight away, see how that feels. Maybe your hips are screaming at you right now. Maybe the lower back hurts. Just have a little play around with your foot position and find what works for you. I like to take my feet out a little bit wider from each other so they're not sort of on a tightrope. Give myself lots of space in my pelvis and my lower back, and that feels really good. So have a play around with that and find your version. If that feels okay, sweep the arms up overhead. Warrior one. Again, take the arms as wide as you need to. They don't need to be parallel. Take a few breaths. You want to keep this front knee over the front ankle, pressing down, grounding down through that front foot. Press down through the back foot. You want to press down into the outer edge of that back foot. Really engage the inner thighs here. And bring the hands to the rib cage. You're going to rotate the ribs round towards the left leg. Coming into warrior two. Take the arms out. So what you'll find is you're not going to turn all the way around to face the left because you're going to bring that knee with you. You want to keep the knee exactly as it is. The knees tracking over the toes. We're just making the movement from the upper body, so from the rib cage. And take the arms out. So you might find that you're on a diagonal and that's absolutely fine. And again, you can have a play around with the foot position. Maybe moving it around a little bit. Find what works for you. So you might want to change the angle of this back foot. You might like it more parallel to the short edge of the mat. And turn that front palm to face up. Take the arm up overhead. Inhale, find some length. Drop the back hand towards the thigh. Reaching back. So it's like a side bend here. Reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. Coming back up to find warrior two. So the arms reaching out. Actively reaching out through the fingertips. And one of the most common mistakes people make here is sort of leaning forwards. We want to keep the body upright and central. Again, pressing down through that back edge, that back foot. Press down evenly through both feet. And then we're going to bring the right forearm, resting it on the right thigh. We're just resting, we're not dumping our weight into it. Take the left arm overhead. Extended side angle. So this is your sort of beginning position. Maybe you can reach the hand all the way down to the floor. Maybe you want to use your props to bring the ground up to you. Just take a couple of breaths here. And coming back up to find warrior two. Bring the hands to the ribs once more. And then rotate back towards the front. Just your foot position again if you need to. Back into warrior one. And then stepping all the way forwards. Have a little shake out of the legs. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So I'm actually just going to come to this end so that I'm not facing away from you when we do this. You can stay exactly where you are. Nice. Bring the hands to the hips to start. Step that right foot back on the diagonal. Turning the foot out roughly at 45 degrees. Bend the front knee so that the knee comes over the ankle. And turn the hips to face forwards. Doesn't matter if they don't come all the way forwards. If they're off on a slight diagonal, that's fine. Play around with your foot position. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider. Find what works for you here. Remember, we're not leaning forwards. Keeping nice and long through the spine. As you're ready, take the arms up overhead, finding warrior one. Press down evenly through both feet. And bring the hands to the rib cage. I'm going to rotate over towards the right leg. So if you need to just adjust your feet again, you absolutely can. And make sure that as you rotated, you didn't bring this knee with you. We don't want the knee collapsing in. The knee stays tracking over those front toes. Find your warrior two and take the arms out wide. Really extend the fingers out. And again, we're not leaning towards this front leg. Keeping the torso upright. I'm going to turn the left palm to face up. Bring the right palm down to the thigh. Take the left palm up high. And then start to take it back. Reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. Only coming back as far as feels good for you. And all the way back to warrior two. Couple of breaths here. And you're going to bend the left elbow. Bring the forearm down to the thigh. Right arm extends overhead. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you reach down for the ground. Or maybe you grab one of your props and you're up here. Just find where works for you. Remember, if you've got your forearm on the thigh, we're not dumping our weight. We're just resting the arm. Coming all the way back up to find warrior two. Bring the hands to the rib cage. And rotating back forwards. Maybe adjusting your feet if you need to. Arms overhead, finding warrior one. And then stepping forwards. Have a little shake out of the legs. Standing in our mountain pose. Soft bend in the knees. Sweep the arms up overhead. I'm going to hinge from the hips, keeping a nice long spine as you fold forward. Keep the knees bent. Coming forwards. And when you get to that point where you can't keep a long spine, just exhale, rounding down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Find that flat back position. So you might need to bring your hands to the shins or to the thighs. Loop the shoulders back. Crown of the head's coming forwards. One nice long line. So we're looking for an upside down L shape. And then exhale, rounding back down. Bend the knees deeply. Step the feet back so we come to hands and knees. So we're coming into tabletop. Take a moment to get your alignment. And then we're going to extend that right arm out towards the side. Reaching up high. If you exhale, draw up the arm underneath the chest. Bring it away from you until your ear comes down. So we're resting on the shoulder and the ear. And maybe you keep the left palm where it is. Maybe you'd like to extend it out in front. Just makes it a little bit more intense. If it is too intense, just actively press into that left palm just to take some of the weight out. Maybe you close your eyes here. Wherever you had your hand, make sure you bring it back to its starting position and really press into the palm to lift back up. Re-extend the arm out and place it back down. We'll do that on the other side. I'm just going to turn around. We've got no space that way. Extending the left arm out to the side and draw it underneath the chest, reaching the hand away, coming all the way down onto the ear and onto the shoulder. If that's a bit intense, keep pressing into that right palm. It's going to take away some of the weight. Or you could extend the arm in front if you wanted to go a little deeper. So bring the hand back to its starting position, press into the palm to lift up, re-extend the arm and place it back down. Lovely. So we're going to come to a seat, so if you want to sit up onto a cushion, you can. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together in front of us. So bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. Sitting up tall through the spine. So if this is difficult for you to do, then you absolutely should sit up on something. It's just going to make it a little bit easier for you to sit up through the spine. When we sit up on something, it enables us to sort of gently roll the pelvis forwards into a position where we're able to find that length in the spine. So bring the soles of the feet together. And we're not holding on for dear life, we're just resting our hands around the ankles and just allow the knees to drop out to the sides. Feel a stretch in the inner groin. If that's too intense on your knees, again you can prop your knees up with some cushions just to take the weight out of them so it doesn't pull so much. If you wanted to take this posture a little bit deeper, bend the elbows and gently leaning forwards. I'm not folding all the way down to the ground. And then coming back up. Find a nice comfortable seat, preferably Sukhasana, our easy pose with our legs crossed, but any seat that's going to be comfortable for you. You're going to bring the left palm over towards the right knee, right fingertips go behind, twisting towards that right thigh. And again, the twist comes from the rib cage. It's really great to do twist seated because our pelvis stays put. We don't take the whole of the hips and the pelvis with us when we do this. So you probably won't twist too far. You often see people sort of looking over the shoulder like this, and it looks like you're actually twisting further than you are. It's not necessary at all. So try and keep the navel in line with the spine, the nose in line with the navel, sorry. And come back to centre. Take it to the other side. Right palm comes over towards the left knee. Left fingertips go behind. And if you can't reach your knee, it doesn't matter. Just reach for wherever you can. It will come in time. If we're not used to moving our spine in a certain way, it can take a little bit of time for things to unravel and open up. Just be patient and be kind to your body. And just listen to what your body's telling you. If you find it quite hard to breathe in a twist, then just back off a little bit. And come back to centre. Just rest the palms wherever feels natural and comfortable for you. Bend the knees, maybe you want to stack the hands in the lap. Closing down the eyes. Just allow your breath to return to its own natural rhythm. Noticing how you feel now. Do you feel any different to how you felt at the start of this class? Did you notice any areas of your body that felt quite tight, maybe a little bit stuck? Maybe you surprised yourself. There's no right or wrong here, just notice how you feel. Bring the hands together into prayer in front of the heart space. Just quietly thank yourself for showing up today. Nod the chin towards the chest. Namaste. Slowly blink the eyelashes open. Well done, you've made it through part 2. I hope you're feeling really positive about it. And again, please practice this at least once more to get the full benefits from your practice. And I'll see you for the next part soon.